From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped, your intercontinental hit of news, features and debate from the quirky world of cricket. I'm Alison Mitchell in London.
Jim Maxwell, looking forward to the show, and I'm in Sydney.
And I'm Sunil Gupta for Akashvani, the country where it's all taking place, in Delhi.
So on this week's show, we're going to go inside the Afghanistan camp after the men's second win of this Cricket World Cup. But we're going to start by paying tribute to former India captain Bishan Singh Bedi, who died this week at the age of 77. He was widely considered one of the game's greatest left-arm spinners and represented his country in 67 tests and 10 one-day internationals. At the time of his retirement, he was India's leading wicket-taker in tests with 266. But he was so much more than that as well. Sunil, what are your memories of watching him play and how has the country been remembering him?
Well, my abiding memory of watching Mr. Bedi play, as we used to call him, Bish, in our own way, but Bishan G, was in 1969. And Jim, you'll enjoy this. This was Australia in Delhi under the captaincy of Bill Lawry. And that was the game in which India won. And I remember being there at the Kotla to see that famous win in 69. And the whole thing about Bishan Bedi, he took 9 wickets in that game for 100-odd runs, was that he stood once at forward short leg when India were really putting the pressure on. And Bishan Bedi at forward short leg. I will never forget that picture. And of course, it came on television, but it was in black and white. But when you went down to the ground, I mean, it was sensational because beating Australia was one of the biggest achievements that we could possibly ever have as the Indian team. And he was the architect, 9 wickets in that game, 5 in the second, when Australia was spun out for 107. And then, of course, I mean, he and the other 3 spinners, Prasanna and Chandrasekhar Venkataraghavan, really the start of the spin era for India. You know, the spin, not twins, but the spin quartet. And they were instrumental in India winning their first series in the Windies in 71 and in England in 71, that famous test match at the Oval. You know, those are the memories. You know, he used to float in and the ball used to float out. I mean, that is really Bishan Singh Bedi. And the great thing about him is that he never, ever forgot to speak his mind. He bowed down to nobody. It's not that he played with his own rules. He followed the rules. But he spoke truth to power and he was not worried. He has a stand named after him in what is now the Arun Jaitley Stadium, of course, the Firoz Kotla at the time he used to play, and he was captain of India. And the other thing was that he was very, very gracious. We've had tributes pouring in from people like Intikhab Alam from Pakistan, who wrote a beautiful column in the Indian paper about how friendly they were. He used to sing Louis Armstrong songs. Of course, they played in the county championship for many, many years together. I remember when he was in New Zealand as the manager, Richard Hadley got the record for the most wickets, and he actually went down with a whole bouquet of roses for Richard Hadley and presented it to him. I don't know whether there were 400 of them or whatever they were, but there were a lot of roses at that time. You know, and that is why he is fondly remembered by anybody and everybody.
Jim, your memories?
Oh, well, I was lucky enough to broadcast his cricket in the 70s during the Packer era when the establishment held firm and India came here with their much vaunted spinners. I can still remember him bowling Kim Hughes at the SCG with a slightly quicker one. Just went absolutely through him before he could move his bat. It was a wonderful display of bowling in that game. And I also remember meeting him at a party. He liked the party, didn't he? And I also remember having chats with him subsequently in intervening years when Australia played in India. He was always around. And as Sunil said, he was a man who had an opinion and voiced it quite strongly. And he was quite entertaining in that regard. It was, we used to say, oh, he's one of those Terminators. No, it was a Patka. He used to wear a patka.
Patka, exactly. You got it right. Yeah. And the whole thing was, which color patka is he going to wear after the interval? So he used to go in the morning And then at lunchtime, he used to change it, and he's coming out with a bright pink one. Is he going to come out with a yellow one? And then after the tea interval also, it used to be a new one, a new colour. You're absolutely right, Jim. It was a patka, yes.
Yeah, colourful in more ways than one. He played, you mentioned the county championship, Sunil. He played for my home county, Northamptonshire. And in terms of Northamptonshire history, there was another left-arm spinner that played for Northampton, Monty Panesar, who played for England, of course. And Monty's patkas were something of a sort of iconic piece of headwear for a while when Monty was at the peak of his powers. But Bishan Singh Bedi, just a beautiful bowler, a master of his craft. So it's wonderful to be able to remember him at the sad time of his passing. Let's turn to the India team of today then, because their performances at the 50-over World Cup are nothing short of, well, astonishing at the moment. 5 wins from 5 so far, the only team to remain unbeaten at the moment. Virat Kohli is absolutely on fire, 354 runs for him so far. I mean, Sunil, just how impressed have you been with India?
Well, I must tell you, I really have been impressed. I had my doubts before the World Cup began. I voiced them in the program as well. But I think the turning point for India was against Australia in that game when they bowled Australia out for 199. Then they were 2 for 3, and the top 3 batters were out for 0. To turn that around without going down, I think that gave them the impetus, that gave them the confidence. And after that, now suddenly it looks like a well-rounded team. The way they took on the Pakistan total, it was a small total, but they never got bogged down. And I think the middle order has stood up. That was one of the biggest problems in the 2019 World Cup. The middle order didn't. And the most important thing, and this is an interesting stat, 10 wickets against Australia, 10 against Pakistan, 10 against New Zealand. They bowled 3 teams out, 8 against Afghanistan, 8 against Bangladesh. So if you look at all the teams, I don't think that any team in the World Cup has picked up 38 and 46 wickets out of 5 games. No one. That is the most impressive stat for me about India.
Yeah, it just shows the importance of the bowlers, isn't it? I mean, so much attention is on the batters because we're getting such massive scores. Just on Kohli, he is just churning out the runs. And do you think this tournament is really cementing him as an Indian hero, if he wasn't already? But I mean, goodness, you can only imagine how that would go off the charts if India do go on to win it.
Yes, well, he's way off the charts at the moment on social media, and some are saying, he's probably one of the reasons why cricket's going to turn up over 100 years later as a sport at the Olympic Games. And it's sort of Kohli fired at the moment because of his magnificent cricket skill and his persona as a sportsman beyond the Indian diaspora. So, yes, it's fascinating to watch all this. I mean, as an Australian who enjoys seeing great players, and they're not all from our own backyard, they're certainly from India more and more, and Kohli's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. But when we get to the semi-finals, we'll probably touch on this conversation. It's another game. Only takes one ball and one game. All of a sudden, you're mortal. And although he's immortal pretty much at the moment and has been for most of his career, India will not have done the job until they actually get through and play and win the final. And that's, to me, still not as strong as they look, a certainty.
From the BBC World Service, this is Stumped on ABC and Akashvani.
Well, before their thrashing by Australia, the Netherlands had enjoyed a stunning win over South Africa. But I think it's fair to say that the team that's taken everybody by surprise and is really outperforming previous World Cups for themselves are Afghanistan. After beating England earlier on in the tournament, they've just gone on to beat Pakistan for the first time in one-day cricket by pulling off their highest successful chase of all time in the format as well. It was only their 3rd ever win in a 50-over World Cup. Remember, this is just their 3rd time of appearing in this event. Before this tournament, they'd just had 1 win over Scotland in 2015. Well, to sum up the emotions and to talk us through the journey so far, we can welcome former Afghanistan player and current assistant coach, Raees Ahmadzai. Raees, welcome to Stumped. Thank you so much for joining us. What was that match like against Pakistan for you watching, and what has that meant for the team in particular?
Hello, everyone. And you know that you mentioned that we played, I think, 6 or 7 matches before with Pakistan, especially ODI matches. And in the last few matches, we were very close, and the matches went till to the last over. If I can mention, in the last Asia Cup, 50 overs Asia Cup, in Abu Dhabi. Pakistan beat in the last over, and 2019 World Cup match was in Edgbaston. Went very close. Once we beat them in the last T20 series in Sharjah, and we was honestly we was expect that in Chennai ground we will beat Pakistan, and we work very hard for them and how to control the emotion, or how to work on a very we have skills, but sometimes we're missing the part of very basic things, and we work a lot on that, and we're very prepared for that match, and luckily we won that match.
And in terms of the rivalry, I mean, Pakistan, a neighbouring country, but also a lot of the players going back through Afghanistan history learnt their cricket in refugee camps in Pakistan. Has that added to the overall rivalry?
I'm one of part of that refugee players that we learn cricket in the refugees camps, not in big cities. We will playing all the refugees, Afghan players playing a tennis ball cricket there. Once we come back, we start professional cricket in Afghanistan with the proper cricket ball, with zero kind of facilities. And I think it was a very good journey. Start like sometimes I'm saying it was from zero to hero. So it's just because of talent, because of passion, and we have very strong support now from the whole nation.
Has the batting made a big difference? I mean, of course, there's also Ahmed Noor, for example, took 3 wickets on his debut, who seems a very special player. Where has the biggest difference come?
Like as I say, we are very lucky that we have a natural talent. Still, we are still very far behind from cricket facilities like the other countries have, like Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, not compared with Australia or England or South Africa or New Zealand. But still very far behind from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or Pakistan. But one thing we want to play cricket, and our players have a natural talent. You mentioned Noor Ahmed, that he played with me in 2002 20 Under 19 World Cup. When I saw first time him, I believe him that one day he will be a superstar. And he played before that match. He played lots of franchise cricket. And batting wise, skills wise, we are some good players. Ibrahim Zadran came from the under 19. He started cricket in Afghanistan. Gurbaz started cricket in Afghanistan. So that means our system is going very well, and the time will become, and I'm sure we will have some great batsmen in future.
Raees, this is Sunil Gupta for Akashvani in Delhi. Now, Afghanistan's players have made India their home base, really, that Noida, just outside Delhi. And how big a factor has that been playing in India for such a long time? The support from India, and especially the BCCI, has made for the players to feel settled playing in India during this tournament?
For lots of people, they will be thanked that, especially when we beat England. I heard some people was saying that upset, and I told them, like, I speak with Ian Bishop, and I say, we are not here to upset. We are the team that we can beat any team for a few reasons. We have one of the best spinners attack. We have the same condition, and we played lots of matches here. Our players playing here the IPL matches. So these Indian condition is very ideal and very suitable for us. So that's why we are not here to upset the team. We are the team that we can, if we did well, we can beat any team, and we are the team that not easy side in this tournament. So these pitches, these condition, and practice in India, it's helped a lot.
And you have Ajay Jadeja as your mentor, and he was an India captain at one point of time. How big a help has he been?
A happy guy in the pavilion. He's all the time motivate the players, and sometimes we are naturally emotional people, and we are very excited, but he's a guy that he all the time motivate the players and how to control and how to move forward, just positive way. In his mentality, there's no negative things.
And Raees, what has Jonathan Trott brought to the camp since he came in as coach in July last year?
A guy that he have the same mentality like we have, one that all the time want to win. In his mind and his mentality, there's no space for lose the matches. So he's very excited, very sometimes to become angry in a positive way, become angry because he want he's telling to the players that, look, guys, you guys have a talent, but use your skills and use your mind. So that's his mentality, and he's a guy that he want to do something for the team.
And your progression sort of going forward, when you look at series you've got to come post this World Cup even, you host Ireland and then you go to India. I just wonder, when Australia cancelled a test and then an ODI series against Afghanistan earlier this year, which they cited due to the Taliban stance on women's sport, did you ever worry that other countries might cancel series as well?
I think it will be very unfair. The people just involve sports and politics. Sportsmen people or sports guys cannot challenge the government. We are the people that we represent the people. And like last week, the whole country came out on the road. They celebrate, they enjoyed. We need that celebration. And it was very, very unfair that Australia canceled the matches. And before that, the government happened, they canceled the test match also. So we want cricket, and we are here to represent the country, and we want to give something to our youth. From last 40 years, we had lots of problems. I born in the war, and still I become like 40 years spend my life in the war. So we want peace, we want sports, we want to do something the people should celebrate.
I guess on the back of that, did you ever worry that ICC funding could be reduced or full member test status be taken away because of the policies of the ruling government? Because, of course, it means that Afghanistan isn't fulfilling the requirement that all other test playing nations have to, which is to support a women's setup. So did you ever worry that the ICC might reduce funding or that test status be removed?
I think, like as I mentioned, this will be not fair. We are the people that we want that the whole everyone should be treat equal in the country, like women or boys or girls or women or everyone to be equal. But sometimes if you have not something in your control, you cannot challenge the government. But as a human being, we try to give respect to everyone.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Stumped here on Akashvani. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter. We're at BBCWS Sport and use the hashtag BBC Stumped. And check us out on YouTube as well. Go to the BBC World Service's YouTube channel. Thanks to Sunil Gupta and to Jim Maxwell, and to all of you for listening. See you next week. Bye for now.
Stumped is a BBC Sport production for the BBC World Service in association with ABC and Akashvani.